we've been carrying this great PA around for a number of years. And we already had it down to a science, you know, and it took all day to put it up. You had to get up at 6 a.m. at the hotel. You had to get to the show by 8, crack open the semi-trucks and start unloading the stuff by 10. We had it unloaded onto the stage. Then it took us 2 hours to set it up from 10 to noon. That is, put up the speaker cabinets, and the scaffolding had to be exactly right. If the scaffolding wasn't right, that took a lot longer. But we had that down to a science. And once you started putting it up, then we'd take a break around noon and take a quick lunch break and start wiring after noon. And by 4 o'clock, we'd have it done. It took about 4 hours to get it up and running after the noon break. And then the band would be in at 4 o'clock, like promptly in those days, and do a sound check until about 6. The doors would open, and 7 would be the show time, and they'd play till about 1 in the morning, and then we'd take it down. Took us to about 4 in the morning. So if you see, when we were doing that, it didn't leave enough room for us to really, and we partied for 2 hours after we were done and drove to the next town or got to the next town. You know, it was tough. So we had to leave space for it. It was like bringing a herd of elephants wherever you went. You know, it was a big thing.
The first time I saw it, it was set up in Reno, Nevada at an outdoor gig. And Reno's like this was a high area, and they were very high area. And the wind was blowing really well. Nobody was there yet, and I was standing out looking at this thing, and I was watching that speaker, whatever you want to call it, blowing back and forth. I'm going, I'm going to set my drums under that, you know, and I just went, wow. And that was really scary for me. But they finally cabled it down better, so it didn't have to blow around. But it didn't give you a feeling of confidence to see this thing kind of motion in the wind.
I mean, you got to remember, it was a standing bass wave for Phil's setup, 32 feet of bass stack, you know, and it sent out a standing bass wave. And we were able to do experiments like that. The very fact that the microphones faced into the speakers was done because Bear came up with this out-of-phase way of putting up the microphones, so the band heard the same source going out in the audience. It was very rare, you know, to have anything like this. And his ideas were to have the monitors be the same source as the PA was. And it was very ahead of its time.
I thought it was absurd, but it made me giggle. You know, it was wretched excess, to be sure, but we were known for that. You know, we try anything. And, you know, it did work for the people on the back rows, I think. I think they got the benefit, the full benefit of that PA. I don't think for anybody else it was better or worse. With the one exception, the way we had the microphones, in order to have all the power behind you, you have to have feedback canceling microphones. And the way we did that was we took 2 omnidirectional microphones and put them like this and sang into this one, and then the other one would hear, it was out of phase with this one, so they both heard what was going on behind us, but it was out of phase, so they canceled each other. And only this one was hearing our vocals. But the problem is it didn't sound good.
They had to use phase-canceling microphones, which makes the voice sound very much like that, which is not a good thing. Yeah, it was very hard because, number one, that was back in the days when people had monitors in front of them. And so to get like this little wedge in front of you, you know, to compete against that, or not compete against it, but to blend with it in order for you to feel part of the band and be able to do what you do, it was very hard. A lot of times it was very hard. And like Billy said, the phase-canceling microphones, you had to be literally right upon them. And so a lot of times your voice sounded like this. Tip of the nose microphone deal. Your voice sounded like this. That's a bad shot, I know. Because it was trying... It's like I'm picking a winner, you know. Sorry. It's hard to take something that happened to you 10 years ago. 10 years ago? Let's back that up. 20 years ago, so seriously. 30? Is it really 30? I was coming in here going 25 if I'm lucky, and look at it's 30.
We're always working on a piano tune. What is it about the guitar that makes it so Like most basses or guitars that you hear, have one or two good tones on them. This bass has many, many good tones and can simulate the sound of other basses.
It has lots of different filters on it and the capability of switching from one kind of sound, like the same sound coming from all the speakers, to one string coming from each of half of them, each one of these stacks. So, in other words, each string from 4 different sets, so it bounces around, depending on how I play. I'm talking to you like you're a person because you look like a person even with that camera on. Getting a little carried away there. The camera! Yeah, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. Oh, come on, come on, come on.
We can play together.
Wait a minute, yeah, we could. Some of you folks might remember our old drummer, Mickey Hart, who's playing with us tonight.
Fresh out of the mental institution and a brand new man. He still has uncontrollable urges to throw things. Thank you all. See you sometime.